Me this morning, family. You all know I'm up. I get my day started early, so I am usually up at 4 a.m. because I go into meditation before I get my day started and head out the door. So I said, let me come up here because I wanted to have a chit chat with the family surrounding a few emails that I've received. So I said I would come up here and I will address some things because I did meditate over a few things that has been going on that family has sent me an email regarding. All right. I don't know who's up here this morning. Again, it is very early. It's 4:30 a.m. So it is early. The one email that I did receive. Okay, I just want to talk about the one email that I received, and I believe it's from a contestant or somebody who American Idol. I'm not really sure about her. I haven't watched American Idol, family. I'm gonna be honest. I have not watched American Idol, I think, since Fantasia. So I don't know how long that's been. All right, go and count back from whatever season she was on. Okay, I have not watched American Idol since then, so I don't know what's really taking place on these shows or who these people are. All right, family. But I said I would come up here and I would discuss some things. Good morning, K Swing. Good morning, Fez. How are you? Um, K Swing said I felt you would be up here. Yes, family. I'm up here. Good morning, Thelma. How are you? So I said I will come up here and shed a little light on some things. Not only am I going to shed light on a little thing, a little bit of this situation, but I'm also going to say it just a little personal things about myself that some of you all may know. All right, some of you all already know. A lot of you all don't know. All right, and I want to say hi to all the new family members who has joined us, who has joined the family. Now, I don't want this to be blown out of context, okay, because what I'm going to speak about, um you got to look at everybody on an individual basis as well. But we all know that some corrupt things go on within these agencies, and I'm gonna talk about a little bit of this. Okay. Kay Swin said I just woke up. Good morning, Regina. One, I'm going to come up here because I've been on both sides of the fence. All right, family. I've been on both sides of the fence when it comes to dealing with foster care. Right. Not only was I in a system myself because my mother used to be out there in the world. Okay. And when I say out there in the world, I mean doing a lot of worldly things. Uh, I had to grow up very fast, family. As you all know, I started my family myself young. Okay. So not only, having my family young, I got married young. Um, I've been on both sides of the fence. I'm gonna walk. We gonna walk down this, okay? So, growing up, I didn't have the best life possible, right? Some of you all already know that because before my channel turned into a spiritual channel, I used to, we used to all talk about it. I used to talk about it. These things used to be on my channel before my daughter took a lot of my things down. Before I turned this channel to something what it is now. All right. Um, so I didn't have the best life possible. Yes, my mother, it was a time my mother had lost custody of her children because my mother used to be out there in the world. And when I say out there in the world, my mother used to do a lot of worldly things, all right, hanging out, dibbling and dabbling in drugs, whatever she was out there doing, all right. So we wasn't getting the best care. As far as I'm gonna say, our mother being there for us and actually parenting us. Um, a lot of my sisters wasn't going to school because my mother wasn't going to the school to enroll my sisters in school, and a lot of that took a play into why we was removed. Now, as far as abuse and stuff, we never experienced abuse in the home. My mother, for the most part, all right, she stayed on top of things, but at the same time, she had a habit. She had an addiction. Okay, she never abused us, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say, physically, she never physically abused us. All right, my mother was real big on that. She never wanted to hit her children, but at the same time, we didn't always have food. Okay, because again, my mother had her issues that was going on with her. Long story short, that caused us to be placed in situations we didn't want to be placed in. And I'm gonna say this, all right, dealing with being in foster care, all right, for the period of time that I was in, but then we did eventually go back home to mom, all right. It didn't happen overnight, okay. It took a long battle, and we was back home with mom. Okay, so from then, now as I'm older and I'm living my life, right, I did go to school for human services. All right, so I went to school in that field because it was either nursing or that. Okay, and I did go to school for that. Before I finished school for human services, I was also a foster parent at some point. All right, hubby and I did go to the classes, so we did do the training and everything that needed to be done. I fostered two girls in my home, not together, at different periods of time. So I really can tell you from both angles of some things that I experienced, okay? Because a lot of the things that I touch on, family, I tell you, family, if I experienced it, I'm gonna bring it to the forefront. If it was something that I witnessed with my own two eyes, I will bring it to the forefront. If something that I witnessed somebody else go through, I will bring it to the forefront. Okay, so anything that you hear on here on this channel or with me, trust me, I meditated over it. I got clarity from the ancestors regarding it. I experienced it firsthand. I've witnessed somebody else experience it. You understand? So fast forwarding, I get a couple of emails about a young lady. All right, I guess she's American Idol contestant. I don't really know the case too well, or her. And I'm gonna tell you all this, family. Broke my heart to watch that video of this mother in the vehicle crying because these people has come to take away her baby. Um, Physically looking at the situation, all right, you could tell they are well kept, well to do parents. And I know you can't always look at visual looks, but after listening and reading their stories and watching the video, all right, that was sent to me, I really realized some things. And I said, I'm gonna bring it to the ancestors. I'm gonna meditate over a few things, get some clarity into this situation, because again, like I said, I don't know them. Okay. Ancestors has given me clarity in a lot of things. All right, family. For one, I got a caseworker that is working here amongst them that is on a power trip. Okay, they got this ego thing going on with them, and they are really on this power trip. That's for one. For two, the energy that I picked up, they really need to consider getting a new lawyer. Okay, so that's for two. They really need to consider getting a lawyer, because that energy came out very strong. Okay, so that's the second thing. Now, it broke my heart because I felt this woman's pain, and it seemed like she's a part of some holistic practices, and whatever their religious or spiritual beliefs are, she's going by that. So some things she may have declined with her children, medical shots or whatever, they vaccinations or whatever was going on there. All right, but everybody have a right to make decisions as far as how they want to raise their children, as long as you're not harming them. Okay, as long as you're not harming them. Everybody else, when it comes to the different races, when it comes to the different cultures, when it comes to the different religious and spiritual practices, everybody is allowed to practice their beliefs, right? As long as they're not physically harming their child. I've seen it time and time again, while other people are able to do their practices, but some people are not able to do their practices. All right. A race factor came up while I was meditating. Okay, and I tell you, family, we don't look at color here, and it's not saying that doesn't mean I can't bring it to the forefront, because if that's what I've gotten revelation into, then that's what it is. Okay, now race came up as a factor in a lot of what is going on with this couple, and it's sad to say. All right, somebody in here is on a power trip. I have somebody in here that's just lying about some things. One was this I think this was the private investigator, the lady who they were talking to. One thing, okay, family, because I don't have to know the name of an individual to go to the ancestors regarding some things. I could just give a description. Ancestors already know exactly who I'm talking about. This lady is a habitual liar. Okay, this lady is a habitual liar, for one. Okay, she just said what she needed to say as far as to get the baby. This lady was not returning calls, was not checking on calls. They already had a foster parent before they came to these people home to remove this child. They already made arrangements. All right, family, listen to what I'm saying. They already made arrangements for this child to be placed in a foster home. So when they started saying that they're going to get the baby checked out, they're just taking the baby to the hospital to get this baby checked out, that is a lie. Okay, because they had already knew that they was going to remove the child. They already knew that they already contacted the foster parent, and they was going to have that child. They was going to have a child already to them. They had a newborn, basically, and it was already reported that they was going to have this child in that home by the end of the day. Okay, I got clarity into that. Another thing is, once they went to the hospital, okay, and everything panned out, why didn't they release that child back to their parents? Why didn't they release that child back to their biological parents, knowing that this child was not neglected, this child's not harmed? Why wasn't that child returned back? Okay. Another thing is, the first child who was taken away, they've been fighting for that child because of something with a vaccination or whatever. Why wasn't that child, once they seen or something with a vaccination or breastfeeding? Okay, so it was an issue with breastfeeding. They wasn't sure if the baby was getting enough nourishment or whatever, because I guess the mom was weaning from breastfeeding to regular food. Once they found out that those circumstances was non-existent, as far as nobody intentionally harmed this baby, why didn't they give the mother the resources and the father the resources that was needed so that they can learn how to do these things for the baby? All right, how to wean this baby off or care for this baby properly, instead of removing the child from the home. Why didn't they not return that child back? Why is that child still in the hands of this foster agency? You understand? I'm going to say this, family. Nobody is going to love you and your family more than you're going to love yourself and your family. Don't depend on the government. Don't depend on these government agencies. Nobody is going to love you and yours more than you are going to love them. I heard her say that she was breastfeeding the baby, the newborn that they just removed. She was crying. It really broke my heart. How's her baby going to eat? And that's something to think about, family. Yes, they took the breast milk. How long do you think that breast milk is going to last? You understand, family? What is going to happen from the next day to the next day? How is this baby going to eat? So you're just going to put this baby on formula food? And yes, I get it that a lot of us formula fed our babies and they survive. But if that's part of somebody's religious or spiritual practices or their culture or anything like that, those things need to be obliged. You have to understand that, because some people like us, we don't eat pork in our home. Okay, so for my child to go to somebody else's home and they knowing that we don't eat pork, all right, that's a practice. All right, now for someone know that we don't eat pork and they give my child pork, that's saying, I don't give a damn about your child or your beliefs. All right. This is what they're going to eat. This is what we eat in here. And this is what they are going to eat. This lets you know they don't give a damn about your children. All right. Nobody's going to love your children more than you going to love your children. All right. It's very easy for these people to come and take your children out of your home. What do you think that they're doing when they take your children out of the home? A lot of the times they take your children out of the home, family. I want you to think about some things, and I want you to think about it on a spiritual level as well. They take your children out of the home. They do studies on your children. They run all kind of tests on your children, things that you would never allow. All right. But because they have your child in their care, they are doing these things. All right. So it's a lot of things that goes on a deeper level when your children are out of the home. Okay. Another thing that, really hurt me is when I heard the father say that, we living in a world basically, all right? I can't say word from word. You have to go and watch the video for those who haven't, okay? We living in a world basically where they have more control over your children than you. And that is so true, right, family? We live in a world, we living in days and times where we can't even make a proper decision for our children without the courts getting involved, the schools getting involved, the police getting involved. You understand? Some things have, yes, granted that some children have to be looked after because some children are really neglected. But from that situation, you just took away from somebody who really needed that help and took up space in a foster home where somebody else's child could have got that space who needed it. All right. So a lot of this infuriates me. I know myself as a foster parent, okay, when I used to foster, because I don't foster anymore, family. When I used to foster, right, it was so many things that I had went through with the social workers. It was insane, okay? They don't always come out and do checks like they supposed to, for one, because they have so many cases, all right? They could give you a call on the phone and that was their visit. Okay, so many things that's going on in the home that they don't know, they won't know. As they got this code also of turning the blind eye. So when things happen as well, they'll switch from one caseworker to the next. That's all they do. They rotate these caseworkers all around the damn agency. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you all, family. Okay, now we do have some social workers out there that are very good social workers, so I don't want to take away from the good ones. That's not what I'm doing here, all right? We have some social workers that really do care about the children. They love what they do. They want to make a difference. They want to unify these children with their parents because that's the number one thing, is unifying these children with their parents. We don't ever want to have a gap between, the parent and a child. If we can stop that, if we can prevent that, we don't want to have that. So we want to have unity. We want them to be able to be reunited and be together. That is the job, all right? It's having family. So that's one thing that they would do. Another thing is we have some agencies that don't give a damn, okay, what's going on. Is another paycheck coming in. They get more money. They get kickbacks for the children that coming in the system, coming in their agency. They could care less. But there's some agencies that does a very good job with the children well-being, all right? And getting these children. You want to look at these agencies who have their children in the system for the longest length of time. These are not good agencies, and I'm sorry to say. You got the children in these foster homes for a very long length of time. They haven't gotten adopted, or their parents have done everything and met all the requirements, and their children are still in foster care. Look at those agencies. Those are terrible agencies. Those are terrible agencies to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to say this from somebody who has been on both sides of the fence, not only in foster care, but as a foster parent, too, as in going to school also for human services. Okay, so these are not agencies that you want to deal with. All right, family, those are not agencies that you want to deal with. When I seen this lady cry, and I see these workers, whoever they are, case workers, and government officials, I'm gonna just put it out there like that. They standing around the lady. She's crying about her baby because this baby was 9 days old, a newborn, 9 days old. These people had no empathy, no sympathy, no nothing for this mom. Okay, nobody came to this mother and put the. Let me tell you something. And I understand that everybody got a job. All right. But where's the compassion? You're supposed to do this kind of work with compassion. If you can't do it with compassion, get the hell out of the field. You shouldn't be there. All right. So nobody seemed to put a hand on this mother's shoulder and reassure her while she was, crying and upset. She's hysterical because they removing her child, not just one, but this is the second child. Nobody, seemed to put their hand on her shoulder and say, it's going to be okay. We're going to get this, matter taken care of, just follow the necessary steps, go to the court, or, whatever that you have to do. Right? Nobody did that to try to, they all just stood around and looked at her like she was crazy instead of them showing some kind of compassion for this lady. So that was number two. I really realized, I said, these people, they don't care, right? It's just a job. And I don't care how many times that I would do a certain job where if I had to remove somebody's child from the home, it's all going to hit me on a different level. So I'm always going to show some kind of compassion for this family in some kind of way, right? But I didn't see none of that go on there. Nobody had any compassion about anything, right? And that's something else, all right? I can't read the comments, family. I know you all talking, but I have to come back and look at it. Then we have these children, they being placed in these foster homes, these foster children, all right? You in the system. Nobody's really looking after you. Sometimes you're going through more things in the foster home than you've been through in your own home, okay? I've been exposed, and I'm going to tell you from a foster child point of view now, I was exposed to more things in a foster home that I ever was exposed to in my own home, where my mother was supposedly abusing drugs, okay? Though my mother never did it around us, okay? She hung out with other people and she did whatever she did, but my mother did not expose us to the things that I was exposed to living in those foster homes. And I family, you really got to think about a lot of things. And if your children could be placed with family and friends, that may be the best choice, because you know how they live their life. You know how these people are. I would rather them be placed with family and friends than strangers. Although, yes, we have some strangers, okay, that are foster families, that are foster parents, we got some strangers that are foster parents that they will parent and love your child better than their own biological parent. Yes, we have that as well. Okay, so I don't want to take away from the good foster homes, because there are some good foster homes. I don't want to take away from the good foster parents, because there are some good foster parents. I don't want to take away from the good foster care agencies. I don't want to take away from that, okay, because we have some that are good and we have some that are not good. And in this case, unfortunately, what I'm seeing case managers that don't give a damn. Some of these workers, they on a power trip. Okay, they telling you that they got the best child interest at heart, but they really don't. Because if you had the best child, the first child should have been returned once they seen what the circumstances was. That child should have been returned. The second child shouldn't have never been removed, for one, especially if you're saying that my child just went to the doctor the day prior and everything was fine. Why is that child removed? I know someone who abused drugs, okay? They had several children while they was abusing drugs. Okay, family, now just listen to this. They had several children. And when I say several children, I really mean several children. They had about 8 children, okay, while they was on drugs. So, of course, each child was born with drugs in their system. Every time this person went to the hospital and gave birth to another child, they took that child into foster care because the child was born with drugs. Okay, that's understandable, because obviously you are an addict, all right? And I really don't like to use that word, but obviously you have a drug habit. Okay, you have a drug habit. You can't control it because you're still using while you are pregnant. So every time this individual had given birth, they removed the child. Okay, they removed the child. 7 children later, they had another child. Okay, 7 children later, so all 7 of the children are in foster care. They didn't even care to put the kids with the same foster parent or try to put the kids with the same foster parent. No, these children was all scattered all around. You understand? All scattered all around. They'll tell you, oh, we did our best, we'll try our best. Some of them, they don't give a damn to do their best. They don't care wherever they place the child, because they gotta, at the end of the day, they ready to go home. Okay, and I'm gonna be honest, at the end of the day, a lot of these social workers are ready to go home. They don't have time to be scouting if a child, they're gonna place this child in a home that look like the child. They're not looking to see if they're going to place this child who have the same spiritual beliefs as the family, or the same religious beliefs as the family, the same culture background as the family. They're not looking at that. They could care less. All right, as long as they place your child, that's all. But they would tell you in your face, oh yes, we going to look. But that's a damn lie. All right, they've been told to turn the blind eye to a lot of things, and that's what a lot of them do. Okay. So, like I said, this one individual that I know, they took several of her children, okay, because of drug use. When she had this last baby, right, she decided she was going to turn her life around. She could not get her other children, okay. Find out that most of her children was adopted. Okay, most of her children was adopted, so she couldn't get her children back. All right, that she had already lost, the 7 prior. Most of her children was adopted. The sad thing is they didn't even really know each other, because they had agreements. Right, she said the adopted people had agreements that, you know, the other children will visit, like, you know, this was word of mouth, I guess, from the adoptive parents. And come to find out, that never happened. When they reached back out to the agency, they never met and did visits with the children. So the children now being raised individually, adopted out. They don't know each other. 7 siblings that don't know each other, don't know nothing about each other, probably don't even know that one another exists. So now she have this 8th child. She decided she's going to get her life together. She's going to get rehabilitated, and that's what she did, right? She went to have that 8th baby, okay? They did not remove the child. They could not remove the child, because under what circumstances? You remove my other 7 children because they was born with drugs in their system. The 8th baby was not born with drugs in their system. Every situation is different. You understand? They didn't remove her children because she physically abused them or mentally abused them or whatever like that. All right, she had a drug problem. Okay, these are the people, and there's a lot of people that have drug issues. They haven't really physically harmed their children in any kind of way, but they have addictions. They out there scouting for drugs all day and night. They're not really taking care of the children. Who's taking care of the children if you're getting high and you run in the streets, right? You rummage in the streets all night and day. Who's taking care of your children? So yes, in a lot of cases, these agencies, they step in, they remove your children. They remove your children with hopes of, you know, uniting them with their biological family at some point in time. But it never happens a lot of times. They're not even working with the parents. They're not even working with the parents to try to make sure that these parents are getting rehabilitated and they going to their drug treatment programs. Or you understand? A lot of these people, they don't care. All right. You go to the courthouses. I experienced this firsthand. They would tell you as well, when it's court visit day, you ever had a child, and I don't want to take away from the good foster parents, but any foster parents that's up here could just vouch, could just step in, because I know it firsthand from being a foster parent. Okay. They'll tell you when you come, when they have their scheduled visit, and they tell you, oh, don't send Selena to school today, or sometimes you won't even know about a court date until the day before, because you got some social workers that just damn sloppy. Okay, they just sloppy. They don't even care. They'll let you know the day before. They'll call you the day before and say, Selena has a court appointment tomorrow, so I'll be there to pick her up. I'll be there around so-and-so time to pick her up. So make sure that you hold her back from school. All right. So sometimes these things is not even verbalized to you until the last minute. So you're like, okay, well, you thinking, okay, well, do I need to go and put my 2 cents into something? Do I need to go and be there for this child? Like, what needs to be done? Oh, no, that's okay. We'll just come pick her up and I'll drop her back off afterwards. All right. And when you go into these court proceedings, the courthouse, you got the social worker that will go in there and speak to the judge. And it's court visit day. So you got the children in there, right? And you got the biological families in there. Do you know where most of the time where the children and the biological families be? So the biological parent who's fighting for her children, right? And the children, most of the time they leave them in the waiting area while the social worker goes into the court and speaks to the judge one-on-one. I've witnessed that firsthand, 1 from being a foster parent, 2 from being a foster child. Okay? So the judge never gets to see us, the foster child, the biological parent, the judge never, or even the foster parent, right? The only time when they let you come in when it's to benefit the agency. So if they trying to keep your child in, they would let the foster parent come in so you could tell them how good the child is thriving in your home, right? They'll let you come in at this point. Most of the time, they don't let you come in. A lot of foster parents don't go into that courthouse. A lot of foster children don't go into that courthouse. Yeah, you go in the courthouse in the court waiting area, but you're not going behind the closed doors when it's time to speak to the judge and tell the judge all what is going on, right? They leave the parents sometimes out there. Sometimes they give you the wrong court date. They'll give the parents the wrong court date. I done heard it all, okay? From even me fostering, all right, one of the foster child, they will give the parent the wrong court date. Tell them the court date is the 9th when it's really the 12th. Tell them the 12th when it really was the 9th. This is the things they do. Again, family, I'm gonna say nobody's gonna love your children the way you are going to love your children. It's our responsibility to protect our children, not just from the hurt and harm that you see just visible, but even agencies, even government agencies, okay? Even government agencies. We see it all the time. They put our children in these juvenile detention centers and get kickbacks for it because somebody want to keep our children in these detention centers and these foster homes so they could continue getting money for these children instead of releasing them back to their family. But then when your children is all out of control in these foster homes, now it's time for them to hand them back over to mom after the damage is done. So yes, I did see the video. Somebody has mentioned that. And like I said, I did meditate over that. Yes, I have a caseworker that's in there also who's on a power trip. They got an ego problem. Okay. Race also has come up in the equation. So now I got to look at somebody being racist towards this family because of not just how they look on the outside, their physical appearance, but how they spiritual or religious beliefs are, because everybody don't want to give their children, okay, all these man-made things that's going on. You have to understand that some people follow practices that they want to do all natural things, and that needs to be, I'm going to say that needs to be honored. All right. That needs to be honored. If that's what a parent chooses to do, as long as you're not harming that child. There's a lot of children who grew up on plant-based food and they're thriving fine. Okay. Nothing's wrong with them. Nothing says that I have to give my children pig and beef and whatever it is. Right. Rice and all of this stuff. Nothing says that. In fact, the children who's eating this plant-based food, they get more nutrients than we are, right? That's eating all this other food. So I said I would bring this up without having to be, because I don't want to be, feel like that I'm discriminating against anybody. I want to look at everybody, individually. Everything, I just want to put it out there, but at the same time, you got to look at everybody on an individual basis, family. All right, these things exist. Racism exists. All right, family. I tell you all, don't judge people by their color or anything, because you're gonna have to pay a hefty price for that. Okay, you're going to have to pay a hefty price for that. But unfortunately, there's people that still judging people for their outer appearance. They're gonna have to pay a hefty price for that. Okay, a hefty price for that. But these are still going on today. Racism is very well alive. Okay, they are removing children for their homes. They are even doing experiments on these children outside of the home. Okay, all kind of things is going on that we would never consent to, but because they out of our home and in the care of government officials, they're doing this. All right, they feel that they have the power to do these things. They doing research and all kind of things. Just be mindful of some things. All right, that's why I tell family, stand up for your rights and what you believe in. Don't back down. I said anything that I believe in, I'm willing to give my life for. One is my spiritual journey. I take my spiritual journey very serious. Another is my children, right? So it's a lot of things that's going on in this world, family. You're going to have to look out, please, all right? Look on things on a spiritual level as well, not just what you see on this physical plane, because it's hidden agendas that's going on. You're not going to understand it until you really tap into that spiritual energy and get clarity into some things, all right? Because people remove children as well who haven't been harmed and don't give them back because they all have agenda, whether it's money, whether money is the agenda, whether it's because they being racist, whether it's because they on this power trip. You understand? It's for a reason, all right? It's not always good. It's not always good. Now, granted, there are some children that need to be removed from the home. There are some children who parents right now is physically harming them, who is neglecting them, who they not getting fed. Yes, all right? Those are children that need to be looked after. If they cannot be placed in a home with biological family members or friends, then foster care is the next alternative, okay? Because if you cared about the children's best interest and well-being, you always going to try to place that child where it is known to them, a known place to them, so they can feel comfortable, all right? At the same time, they can have their needs met. So you will want to put them with auntie, right? With mom's best friend, because that is a familiar person to them, all right? They don't feel like everything has been taken away from them, all right? So if you got family who's willing and able to take your child, that's what they need to be doing. Not just ripping the child out and putting them with complete strangers. When complete strangers is the only alternative, then that's what you have to do. Yes, that's understandable, because that's the only alternative. But who snatches a child from their parent and place them with total strangers without seeing if family or friends are able to take that child? Who does that? And then turn around and say, I have the best interest for the child. No, you don't. You don't have the best interest for my child. Because if you took my child out of my home and you didn't place them with auntie, brother, or cousin who is able to take care of them, you don't have my child's best interest. You put them with total strangers who know nothing about my child. Nothing at all. Where my child's going to feel uncomfortable, where my child may be crying because my child don't know nobody who they coming into contact with. You don't care about the best interests of my child. So you need to understand that, family. Nobody's going to love you and your child more than you will, okay? Stop thinking that your government have your best interests. These government agencies have your best interests. They could care less, all right? You got a few in the crowd that cares and will go above and beyond to help. You got a few that will, okay? And the majority of them, they too lazy. They're not staying on top of their job. And some of them, they just don't care, right? They don't care. They look at it as another paycheck. They don't care. They don't show no sympathy, no empathy. Some of them don't even return their calls. You get paid for this. You're getting paid, right? To reach out to the family, see what's going on. They don't do that. All the things that I learned in school when I was going for human services, They don't do that in these damn agencies. They could care less. You got some that they'll do it straight out of school, right? Because that's what they was taught. So they'll do it straight out of school. But once they start seeing what everybody else is doing, they're going to fall right into alignment with everybody else at the damn agency. Not caring. Only the people that have compassion and have a heart is going to be the ones that's going to stand out. All right? Because those are the ones who's actually going to give a damn about the parent, the child, and the foster family. And it's very few, family. It's very few. Some of these caseworkers, the ones that do care, they so overbooked with caseloads, right, family? Some of the caseloads they haven't even got to. They haven't even checked on a child in over 3 months, but will write in a book that they went and made a visit because there's so many cases that they got to get to. On top of popping up to remove people's children. You understand, family? And to do visits on kids who has been returned back to their home. Because you got some that they don't want to have to go through that. So they rather keep their child in the foster home where they know that, it's less work that has to be done instead of fighting to get these child back into the home with their biological parents and doing the scheduled visits that they're supposed to do to make sure that everything is panning out the way it should be. No, you got workers too lazy to do that, so they'll rather leave your kid right there in the foster home with the foster parent. Because right there, they already know the foster parent. They know what's going on there. They ain't got time to go and make home visits to your house and see how you doing, to see if you still going to your mental health checkup or your addiction programs, or if the kids is going to school. They don't have time for that. So it's easier for them to leave your child right there in the foster home that they're in than to take the necessary steps, all right, to work things out with the biological parents. So you got a lot of that going on as well. I read the comments, family. I can't barely see this. Jemiah. All right. Jemiah said a lot of foster parents and caseworkers never tell you about the benefits the government gives the children that ages out. Yes. And that too. Lola, I've been fighting forever, but they have not took my youngest baby. Okay, Lola, I must have missed some. All right, Lola says up here, facts, I experienced this firsthand on both ends. I was in the system when I was younger, and my older 3 children are as well, and the system has failed me and my children big time. Yes, and that's another thing. That's why you need to start going to petition the courts, and I'm going to tell you this, all right? Start going into petition the courts against the agency. All right, against the agency. Don't wait for the agency to give you a court date. You need to go down there and tell the agency. Don't wait for their court date. Oh, we got a court date set up. You need to go down there and petition the court and say, I need my children back in the home. I've been doing everything X, Y, and Z, and they not doing a damn thing to give me my children back and reunite me back with my children. I've done everything. And then that's when you need to start taking things in your own hand. Because if you keep waiting for them to give you a court date and they telling you this, all they doing is going to the judge without you being in the room and telling them, oh yeah, she still haven't done X, Y, Z, when all the while you have been doing X, Y, Z. Okay? Who word you think they're going to take? The judges just listening to from the social worker point of view, the case manager point of view. You really need judges that is going to go and is not going to be a conflict of interest in this and really hear what is going on in these agencies with these foster parents, with these agencies with the biological parents. You understand, family? Don't wait. And when things don't pan out, then you need to go higher. All right? If you got to take the matter all the way to the Supreme Court, because that's what needs to be done. Changes need to be made, all right? You got people that's in these agencies sitting on their ass and they're not doing their job, okay? That's what they're doing. And they're just telling you whatever it is that they want you to hear, but they're not really doing their job. That's when you have to just go and be like, you know what? I'm going to the courthouse. You know, maybe you got to get your own date set up. You know, I've been petitioning the agency for my children. They keep telling me XYZ. Nothing's going on. Some of the judges don't even know this is going on. And I'm going to be honest, family. Some of these judges don't even know these things are going on. So when they hear it from an outside of what's going on, oh, this is what the agency is doing? Well, it says right here, the agency, that those are all lies. The agencies put whatever notes. You don't even know what notes they putting in there. Jotting down whatever notes that's untrue. And I don't want this to come across social workers and foster parents who are doing their job, and biological parents who are really active in petitioning to get their children back. All right, because we got some very good people out there who are doing their job, putting their best foot forward. We got some biological parents that has met every requirement, and they fighting to get their children back, and a year later your children are still in foster care. What's going on? Unification should happen expeditiously as soon as they find out that all of this is non-founded, or you have met every requirement. All right, your children need to be returned over back to their biological family. That's it. But you'll have agency that will step in and say, but Your Honor, I know, because I've witnessed that firsthand. They will come and they will talk against the parent, although the parent met every requirement, and the judge say, all right, well, the child needs to be returned. You have caseworkers that will step in and say, they'll come up with something else. Oh, well, Your Honor, the parent, we have a issue because sometimes we can't always get in contact with the parent, and they bring up any old thing so you won't get your child back. But yet you're supposed to be on my side. Don't think that every caseworker is on your side or have your best interest. Every caseworker is not for you. Remember, they getting a check for your child being there. Okay? They getting paid. As long as people keep going into jail, detention centers, foster care, these people are always going to have a job. Okay? They always going to have a demand, a job, so they always want to keep getting a paycheck. Where are the people that is reuniting these children back with their families? That should be the main concern. This is an outrage that things was unfounded with a child, somebody's child, and 6 and 7 months later, their child is still not in their home. That's a problem, family. You understand? That's a problem. That is a problem. Children need to be with their families as long as their families is doing right by them. And no, blood don't always make you family. That's not what I'm saying. They need to be reunited back with their family, okay? If things are unfounded, or if mom and dad is following all the requirements, the children need to be turned back over to their family. There's no need to keep the children there in the system, okay? These systems are revolving doors. It never closes. Unfortunately, sometimes once you get trapped in these systems, they want to keep it going. They want the cycle to keep going. Somebody got to break that cycle. Go out there and petition for your rights. I'm one of those people, family, all right? I tell you, I write letters to the legislators. I write letters all over, okay? For things that I believe in, and I stand up for it, right? That's why I said, family, I couldn't be a spokesperson. My grandmother, that was one of the things she said, that she was worried about my mouth because she know I don't back down for things that I believe in. I'm going to stay firm in things that I believe in, all right? I might even come after somebody with a dagger if they come for me. And I mean that spiritually, all right? I would do some damage to somebody. And that's one of the reasons I say, family, don't do anything while you are upset, because you're liable to kill someone. And yes, that is very true. When I went back to live with my mother, because she completed the steps Department of Social Service needed her to complete, it was horrible living with her there. It was time I called DSS myself. It took social service almost 3 years to get me back to my foster mother. And that's another thing, right, Jemiah? Because, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, all right? If I'm not, I apologize. That's another thing, right? You have caseworkers that swarm with a lot of work. They're not going out there. They're not visiting the children who has been returned home, right? And following up. They're not. So to them, it's just easier to leave them in the foster care than to get ahead and have to run around the biological parent, and now the child is back home with the. But they don't have time for that. Okay, but in some cases, yes, children do need to be in a loving. Children always need to be in a loving environment. Okay, we got some biological families that is very good. We got some that is not so good. All right, Jemiah's in here speaking about her experience. Unfortunately, when she went back with mom wasn't doing the proper things that she should be doing. All right, and when they realize that, especially when a child speaks up against it, somebody should have been going into that home to intervene, to say, all right, Miss So-and-so, this is going on. We may have to remove her if this continues, or depending on what the situation is, because if it's something that the child needs to be moved right away, you can't waste no time. You got to remove the child right then and there. But if it's something like, okay, you're not meeting your child needs as far as your child not getting to school on time or something like that, okay, well, we going to give it a little time, and if we're not seeing no improvement, we got to come and remove the child. So you give the parent a chance, depending on what the situation is, all right? Because you always got to look at the circumstances. If nothing is changing, all right, somebody needs to come and intervene. Somebody needs to come and remove that child. Right? And if the child, Jemiah, can't go with family or friends connected to mom, then she have no choice but to go back to a foster home that, that is unknown. She have no choice. Deborah said, family, I found the whole first year of my son's life against the system. I fought, they ready to snatch kids. Yes, Deborah. That's another thing, right? They're snatching people kids that don't need to be snatched, but the ones who the kids need to be taken out of the homes, these kids are still there. Right? You get all kind of complaints from the school, from the doctor, from neighbors about the same child in the same family, and guess what? Social services pop up and say it was unfounded, nothing was founded, but yet when the child died, then the doctor, the medical, the coroner, whoever, they report the child had 58 old lacerations on the child, a fractured hip that looked like it happened 3 years ago. All these reportings come out. Okay, well, social service was just there 3 days ago. When the hell did all of this happen? You understand? So you have children, social services pop up and say, okay, we couldn't remove the children because it was unfounded. But then you have other families that they know that the stuff is unfounded, and you got the proof right there, and they come and still remove your children. What's wrong with that picture? Who's not doing their job? Who's responsible? Who's responsible then, right? Who's not doing their job? Who's responsible? Who is in control? Who's in control of it? Because we need to go straight to the source. See, that family who's the American Idol contestant, right? And like I said, I don't really know them. I don't follow them. That's who they need to be speaking to. When they talking about, case manager decided, all right, well, who's case manager? Give me case manager name. Who do I need to speak to right now? Okay, well, let's go to the courthouse right now. See, that's the biggest mistake, is just handing the children over and not doing nothing. Somebody should have been running down to the courthouse right now. They just removed my children. You needed to be running down to the courthouse, because the agency has a way of persuading these judges, and I'm going to be honest, they have a way of persuading these judges to be on their side. Somebody should have been going, don't wait for their freaking court date. Go down there to the courthouse, all right? Have these things documented. Go down there to the courthouse and say, they just removed my child for no reason at all. They trying to say that I'm neglecting my child. Here's the report right here. I just took my child to the doctor the day prior. My child was fine. Why did they remove my children? The judge needs to go and look at that order, because something is definitely going on. That way, they can get the ball rolling right then and there, all right? I need to see a judge. I need to speak to somebody on an emergency basis right now, because they have people at the courthouse you could speak to in an emergency situation right then and there. Just like when they come and they get a court order to remove children right then and there, or to do to come and invade your house and do a search, get a search warrant right then and there. They got somebody that is right then and there that you can speak to in an emergency. All right, they got the mediators right then and there that you can speak to right then and there. Okay, and the judge could write up the order right then and there. So don't let them blow smoke up your butt. You need to go to the courthouse and you need to be petitioning these things. And what the hell is the civil service or the government here for if you can't, when we spending our tax dollars that goes to all of these damn government officials and these agencies and so forth like that, all right? Your tax dollars pay for this. You all know that. Police, all of that. Your tax dollars, our tax dollars pay into these programs, into these institutions and all these things. Our tax dollars pay for that. We work to pay into these things. And then you hear this lady said she gives back so much to the community. I want you, if you all haven't seen that clip that I seen of them taking the baby and the mother crying in that car, and even outside of the car as she handed her baby over, it broke my heart. But did you hear how she said that, you know, she gave so much to that community? Look how the people in your community treat you, right? You give so much. You give your all, right? You help. You do organizations. You give your energy, right? So you put that work in. You give financially. You put that work in, and look what happens to you in the long run, right? Nobody is there on your side. Nobody cares, right? Nobody bothered to put their hand on her shoulder and say, "Ma'am, I know how this all may be overwhelming to you, but we just following protocol. We're going to try to get this resolved as soon as possible. You know, everything is going to be all right. We're going to ensure that your baby is going to be taken care of. The baby is going to sit beside Sarah. Sarah's going to be feeding your baby until we find out and get this situated, you know, on the way to the hospital." Nobody said anything to reassure this mother, anything to make her feel better about anything. I said, my goodness. I'm sitting there thinking, do they love their job? You can't possibly love what you do if you can't even say that, right? Because you're dealing with a parent who is distraught. You should be letting them know what's going to happen every step of the way. You are supposed to let them know what's going to happen every step of the way. But nowadays, people think they don't owe anybody an explanation, right? They don't have to explain nothing to you. They got bad attitudes, family. People in this world have bad attitudes today, right? They don't feel like they owe you any explanation. They don't sit there and they don't tell the mother that it's going to be okay. You know, the baby, I'm going to feed the baby the breast formula. And maybe we could see if we could make some kind of arrangements where you could continue to bring, if we need more milk, up to the hospital where we're going to be, or to the agency where we may be, you know, or anything like that. Nobody, they didn't care, because they already knew that they was going to place that baby at the beginning of the day. They knew that they was going to do that. They had already called, I'm telling you, family, they had already called the foster parent and told them, we got a newborn baby coming to you, because they already knew that they was coming to remove that child from the home. They knew that child was healthy. They knew that, all right? That baby had been to the doctor the day prior, all right? They knew that. They already knew what they was going to do. They already knew their intentions and their motive. But yet they're going to tell her lies, all right? People would rather tell you lies than to tell you the truth. And it's sad that we live in a world like that. That they think they feel more comfortable telling you a lie. I wouldn't even want a lie to utter out my mouth. If I got to lie to you, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to explain it, because I know what I'm about to say is going to be a damn lie. All right. If I have to lie to somebody, I'm not even going to go there. All right. I'm not even going to go there, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to lie to you. Right. I'm not going to let those lies be my karma. That's for sure. They tell me they don't like my attitude, which is me asking questions and advocating for me and my babies. And you know what, Lola, and if they feel like that's an attitude because you're asking questions, then that's on them. That's what you should be doing. You should be asking as many questions as possible. You should be advocating for your children. That is what we are supposed to be doing, right? I'm my children's biggest advocate, because guess what? Some of my children are still small, and they can't advocate for themselves. And even my older children, I still advocate for. Those are my children. And I'm going to make sure nobody is going to railroad them. We should be advocating for our children and our loved ones. Those are things we should be doing. And unfortunately, they don't like when people ask too many questions, right? When you ask too many questions or you got too many concerns, you're a problem. You problem. And that's what they don't like. I had a lot of, listen, when I was fostering family, all right, and this was years ago, all right, when I had my third child, we made the decision to stop fostering, okay, when I had my third child. And I'm going to say this, right? I used to be all in those caseworker asses because I wanted to know, right? I wanted to know. And you become a problem when you want to know. Well, I want to know, right? And as a foster parent, if I'm caring for a child in my home, giving them all my love and attention, right? Put my energy, and this child, you know, because you're dealing with this child on a daily basis, all right? They miss their mom. Okay, so what's going on? When are they going to have their visits? Or you may have a visit that will come, and then 3 months went by, they ain't had the visit with mom. What's going on? When this child going to have a visit? This child miss, you know, their caseworkers will tell you all kind of stories, which when you finally do go to a visit and you hear the parents' point of view, caseworkers be lying. And that's another thing the caseworkers don't want. They'll find it, when they find out that the parents be telling it all, they find it in the best interest that the foster parent and the foster mother don't have their little talk sessions. They'll tell you all kind of things. We find it in the best interest because mom is very volatile. So we find it in the best interest that we'll just come pick up the child. You don't have to drop the child off, because they don't want you to know these things. They don't want you to know these things, family. They lie. They lie, unfortunately. You got some caseworkers out there that will lie, blatantly lie, and tell you that, oh, well, mom hasn't come forward. Meanwhile, mom has been trying to reach out to the agency to see when she's going to get a visit, and they telling the damn mother, oh, the foster parent, we got to wait for the foster parent schedule, when the damn well, you know, I'm available every Friday. So if you know I'm available every Friday, why is you telling the biological parent you is the foster mother schedule? You trying to get you ain't waiting for my schedule, because you could have did this every Friday. We can have a visit every Friday if it's up to me. Every Friday, come on, let's do it. I'm here, I'm available, I'm off from work, let's go. Lies. These are the lies they tell, family. They lie. You understand? Don't think because they in different positions that they are always truthful. Don't think that. Please don't think because of somebody's social status that they are always truthful, because that is not the case. You got some that are habitual liars. That investigator that I just meditated over, that lady is a damn habitual liar. She's a habitual liar. And then go back and listen to the video. Then you'll understand why the ancestors told me that lady is a habitual liar. I want you to listen to what she say when he said that, is this your name right here? Well, I contacted you. I left a voicemail. And then she started saying, oh, as I was coming in, the voice, you was just she's a damn lie. She listened to the voicemail and she ignored it. All right, because she already knew that they was coming to remove the children. She's a habitual liar. And you know, it upsets me to know that people are doing this to people's children, and to know that people that we trust, that we entrust with our children and with our lives too, right? Government officials, that they're lying to people. Damn liar. And I don't have no problem. Let me tell you something, family. I have no problem telling people you're a damn liar. I don't care who you are. I be like, you are a damn liar. Now, I don't want, let me tell you something, family. I done went to the school one time and had a conference with the principal. All right. And I done told the principal right there in their face, you are a damn liar. Okay. And I was going above this principal. Okay, because you are a damn liar. I don't know who they thought they was fooling, but Spirit had already gave me revelation and everything I needed to know before I went there to that meeting. Right? Next time, guess what they did? They had the school district. They had somebody from the school district come in the next time with somebody who looked like me. Okay? Because they wanted to smooth things over. All right? That's all. That's the only reason why they brought somebody in now who looks like me. Somebody who I could feel relatable to. But They don't know my background, honey. I can relate to anybody. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, purple, green, or how the hell you look, right? I can relate to many of people because I look beyond color. So she thought that she was going to try to smooth things over by getting somebody who relates to me. Honey, I told that same damn person the same thing I done told her ass, okay? She's a damn racist liar. I already knew, and I done pulled all her cards out, family, all right? She was even shocked. How did I know that? Yes, baby, I know, okay? And I'm going to tell you to your face, you a damn liar. See, these are people that I don't like to deal with, right? I don't like to deal with people like that, family, because it'll cause me to take other routes that I don't want to have to take, right? So it's best to stay away from people like that, but I let her know that you're a damn liar, all right? And I won't be dealing with you. I will be going above you. So when the school district reached out to me and they had a meeting with somebody who looked like me to try to smooth me over, I let them know I'm still going above y'all, right? Still going above y'all. Don't think that's going to smooth me over, right? So family, be mindful of things, be vigilant of things. Please be protected over your children. Advocate for your children because nobody else will. Ask as many questions as you want. That's what they get paid for, to answer the damn questions. All right? That's their job. You're getting paid for it, right? So yes, family. Okay? There's a lot of things going on in this world that shouldn't be going on. All right? And they'll try to brush things off. They'll try to push you to the side. They'll turn a blind eye to a lot of things and keep moving forward. Well, if I'm not making progress with social services, maybe I need to go to the courthouse myself, because I keep reaching out to the caseworker every day, and the caseworker is not returning my calls. So I need to take alternate steps because I don't know what's going on. The caseworker is not returning my calls. So as far as I know, anything could be going on with my child. Just because my child is in a foster home that is certified doesn't mean that it's a loving home. Doesn't mean your child is not getting abused. I was in a foster home where a foster parent actually beat me. Okay? A foster parent actually beat me. And when I think back, I said, my God, they had me in this lady was terrible. This lady, she used us as maids, as servants. She beat us. She made us stand in the corner all day for hours at a time with our hands up in the air. My mother ain't never did nothing like that to us, even when she was abusing drugs. Never. So you just took me out of a home that, yes, my mother abused drugs, but never abused us physically. And you just put me in a certified home that was certified through the state, but your foster parent beat me and traumatized me. You understand, family? Do you understand? So don't think just because, oh, they certified, that don't mean a damn thing. That don't mean a damn thing because they were a certified foster parent, okay? You don't know these foster people ways, and you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. They'll sit there and tell the foster child, don't tell him that Uncle Eddie is living in the house because he's not supposed to live there. But meanwhile, Uncle Eddie is molesting the damn foster children in the house. You understand, family? This is what's going on in these homes. Don't think that every home is so beautiful and, oh, it's so loving. It's not like that. It is not like that. And people need to wake up and really realize that. I know because I experienced it firsthand. Okay? On both sides of the fence. Every home is not like that. Everybody is not going to love your children the way you are going to love your children. Even with my mother or my mother addictions, she ain't never let nothing like that happen to us. You understand? Never. Never. I sat there and I said, as I got older, because you don't understand, that's what I'm saying. Be mindful of what you do to children and how you treat children, because children are not going to stay children forever, family. They're going to grow up one day, and that these things they're going to reflect back on those things as they get older, right? As I got older, I realized some things. I said, my gosh, this foster parent was evil. This foster parent was wicked. Didn't feed you. Her punishment, you know what this foster parent punishment was? She didn't feed you. She would get you up when she was off on the weekends. All right. This is how vicious people are. All right. This is a certified foster parent we talking about. Okay. Who got connections with the caseworkers. So the caseworkers, She was evil, all right? Her form of discipline was on the weekends when she was off, okay? On the weekends when she was off, she would get you up early in the morning on a Saturday morning. And guess what? If you messed up in school or anything like that, or she felt that you just deserving of it because you're bad, they had no problem telling you that your mother was a drug addict in the house. How would your family or your children know that my mother is a drug addict? That means you're sitting there talking about my family issues in front of your children and your family. And even if you are, that should be kept discreetly. That shouldn't be out in the open for that to be thrown back up in my face as a child, as a 10 or 11-year-old child. You understand, family? That should never be brought up. All right? I should never have to hear your child, all right, your child, a foster parent child, come to me and tell me, oh, your mother is nothing but a drug addict. She don't care about you. You understand? This is what goes on. You think every home is loving? Is emotional abuse going on in there? Is physical abuse? Her way of punishment was she wasn't going to feed you, all right? She wasn't going to feed you in the morning. She was going to stand you up in the corner on a Saturday morning, get you up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, stand you up in the corner, put your arms up in the air. And she was going, that's where you was going to be from the time you woke up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning to the time you went to bed at night. Then I didn't know that was abuse then, when that was happening to me at 10 and 11 years old. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I didn't know that was abuse then, right? But that was abuse, all right? She tortured me. That was torture. You understand, family? So they feel like, if they're not physically beating you, they'll do other measurements. Oh, put your hands up in the air. Stand you in the corner. Stand your child in the corner all day with their hands up in the air as punishment. Or another one of her favorites was get on your knees. Get on your knees, right? With your knees on the hardwood floor with your arms up in the air. These are the things that's going on in these homes. These are the things that's going on in these homes, all right? This goes on, okay? And when you have a caseworker that never asks a child anything about their living arrangements, those are the caseworkers. They don't give a damn. They don't care. They don't want to know. Out of all the caseworkers that came into my life being in foster care, only one caseworker gave a damn. One caseworker, and she was the one that put an end to a lot of the things that was going on and removed me out of that home. One caseworker out of 3. One. You understand? They don't care. So don't think that everybody is loving and they care. Oh, they care about your child. They don't give a damn. Okay? A lot of them don't care. You got a handful that may care out of the bunch. And that's sad. That is very sad. It shouldn't be like that, right? We need to start taking the power back. Parents need to start taking the power back. Parents need to start petitioning these courts, letting the judges know what's going on, that these agencies are not doing their part. They not trying to reconnect my children with me. They need to be doing that. For the parents who actually care and who actually are fighting for their children, right? Because you got some parents, I'm sorry, they know their children in the system, and some of them say that my children is better off in the system. All right? Some of them, they know. Some of them physically abuse their children. They don't care if their children never return home. Okay? So it's certain circumstances, right? But we got some kids that their parents actually care, and they shouldn't have never been removed in the first place. And once they find out this is a big error, instead of them returning the children back, no, they leave the kids in the home longer. Why is my child still there? Return my children home. These are the parents we need to be advocating for and getting their children back in the home. Why is their child still in the foster home? Why? Right? I done met all the requirements. All the requirements. Why is my child still there? You understand, family? It's a lot of things that's going on that shouldn't be going on. Yes, Case Win, torturing kids. This is exactly what goes on. Right? Exactly what's going on. Yes, Teresa, exactly. They do things that won't leave a mark as well. I had one foster parent who beat me, who actually had her son A grown man pull my pants and panties down as a young child, a young girl developing, all right? Starting to grow boobs at this time and everything like that. She had her grown son pull my pants down, right? And while she gave me a couple of whacks on my butt. My rear end shouldn't have never been exposed to her grown ass son. You understand? These are things that goes on. These are things that go on. So some things that people have never experienced, children have never experienced in a home, they experiencing this at the hands of the people who's supposed to love them. This lady was supposed to love me and supposed to keep me out of harm's way, right? Until I am able to be reunited with my mother. But that wasn't going on there. I endured a lot of hatred, a lot of just wickedness went on there, right? A lot of wickedness went on there, family. All right. So just be mindful of some things. These things go on, and then what they'll do is with this. What I noticed this lady was doing is, she told the agency, "Oh, I want to adopt her. I want to adopt her." Yeah, if you got a child that you love, and the parents is not trying to, get their children back. Yeah, okay, I would say yes, go and adopt them. But adopt me for what? My mother got a drug problem, or my mother is trying to rehabilitate herself to get herself together. And I thank goodness that, my social worker was the one that really intervened into some things, because I would have been adopted by this lady. I would have been tortured even more once she adopted me. But just to think about it, I would have never been reunited with my mother when my mother got her life back together, right? I would have never been reunited back with my mother if this lady would have adopted me. Sometimes they don't even give the parents a chance, right? And that's why I said I had one social worker who actually cared. Bridget says, I currently have a foster child in my care. The caseworker do not care. They never check on him. Exactly, Bridget. And I have experienced that. I had two girls that I fostered who was neck and neck with my daughter, and it worked out so good, right? I didn't have them two at the same time. I had them at separate times, right? But I had one who stayed with us for a while. I don't know, probably over a year. And then she left, and then I had another one that came and stayed about 9 months, right? And them foster, and the social workers, they knew me. And I'm gonna say this, those social workers, they really didn't really come to my house the way that they were supposed to. They supposed to come and do their monthly checks or whatever, make notes or whatever, but that didn't really go on. A lot of the times they will call me, right? They will call me on the phone and verify some information, ask to speak to the foster child sometimes, and that was it, right? That was their so-called visit. That was their so-called home visit, right? Sometimes you need things, and you ask them when they going to bring the children clothes. Y'all said y'all picked up the children clothes. When is the children clothes coming, right? Oh, I'll get back to you at the end of the day. In the day come, they never. Next week come, they never. I always, and you know what, family, I didn't depend on those monthly checks that they gave. I went above and beyond, just like they were my children. That's how I looked at it. All right. I loved them. I gave them the same love and affection I gave my children. All right. I went and I bought the things that was needed for them. I didn't wait for no check to come, and I didn't call the agency and say, listen, you got to send me a stipend for these kids because they need blah, 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 right? The social worker knew their needs. They knew what they needed, right? I would express to them, and I would tell them, listen, I have to go and get the child some things because the child can't walk around here with the same clothes on every day while I wait for you all to see what you're going to do. So you have some foster parents that is just like that, right? They loving in that kind of way. They don't have no problem going and spending their hard-earned money on these children because they do it from the heart. And you got some that they not trying to do anything unless they're getting paid for it. So they'll let you walk around in them same clothes for 3 weeks, honey. Wash your panties out on your hand and put them back on. You understand? And let you walk around with those same clothes because they're not trying to do anything more than what they need to do. Yes, that goes on too, family. That goes on too. All All right? So you got some loving foster parents and you got some that don't give a damn. Miss Madeline said, wow, I can't deal with these things. Yes. Good morning, Tiffany. They sure do not care. It's all a money game to people. I just keep thinking about Orrin and Orson. They're lost because of CPS. If they did their job, those boys would be safe with their mother. Exactly. And a case like that, right? Where the child was taken out of the home because something that happened when one of the parents wasn't even at home, right? They was at work. See, every situation is different. Okay, if you feel like the boyfriend was abusing them, right? Just say, if they felt like that was a reason to remove the child, okay? You left them with a boyfriend, the boyfriend is abusive, okay? So what's the next alternative? Okay, well, you got to get rid of the boyfriend. The boyfriend can't live in the home. We don't want no contact. We got to do visits or whatever that you have to do, all right? But you remove the kids, and next thing you know, the kids getting adopted out. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that picture? Something is seriously wrong with that. It's a background story, right? There's a background story behind that of why they are removing these children, placing them in these homes, adopting them out, and so forth like this, right? It's things going on other levels. Things are going on other levels. And sometimes we got people in here that's on this power trip. They think because they got the power or feel that they got the power, oh, we're not never letting these kids go home. We're going to just adopt them out. Because you say so, because you feel so, because what you feel like a loving home should be, you're not seeing that in the parents, although they providing the best way they could for their child. Their mom complied with all the commands and her children are still lost. Yes, Teresa, and that's a very hurtful feeling, right? Somebody needs to take accountability, and then they'll pass the buck off from the foster parent to the whoever, all right? CPS, they'll just keep passing the buck around. Instead of, yes, somebody need to be held accountable, because if my children is in your care and something happened to my child, who's accountable? I ain't damn accountable. Because I left my children with you, or my children was taken away by you. So who's accountable, right? You have to pay for that. Somebody have to pay for that. Somebody have to be held accountable for that, right? But the agency would say, oh, it's a social worker, And then the social worker say, oh, it's a foster's adopted parent. You understand? They'll just keep passing the buck around. Why wasn't these children turned back over to their parents? You understand? These children should have been turned back over to their parents. It's a lot of things going on. I understand. Ashanti said, I understand both sides of the CPS situation. Shaking my head. Yes. DCFS was under investigation here in Chicago for having kids living on the floor in the office. Yes. Right? A lot of foster parents, they running out of space in the home. A lot of foster parents, they're not going to do the job if they ain't getting paid, and they're going to let you know right there. If they don't get their check, if they don't see their check, they come to bring those kids right back to the agency, honey. Okay, that was one of the things. And the one agency that I used to work with, one was a private agency that I used to work with right down there on Monroe. Right down there off of Monroe, right? This agency, they used to stress to us foster parents, to whatever you do, please try to work with your caseworker and don't bring the children. Don't just drop the children off back at the office with their belongings. And after hearing that, after a couple of, how we go to the in-service, after hearing that, after a couple of in-service, I started to think, what the hell going on in here? What goes on in here? You actually mean these foster parents actually bring the kids back home to the agency, bring the kids back to the agency with their belongings. Come to find out, after dealing with that agency for a little bit, come to find out that the agency have a reputation of not sending out their monthly checks on time, right? So I guess you will have some foster parents, or even when the child is being placed in your home, sometimes you got to wait several months before you receive one check. So I guess after this been going on for a while, right? You got some foster families that will back the foster child up and drop them right back off on the agency steps. Here's your problem, not mine, right? So these things go on too, right? These things go on too. But everybody looking at the best interest for the child. That don't seem like the best interest for the child. I know sometimes we feel like doing that to children. I know even my own children, raising them, I felt like packing them up, right? Packing them up and dropping their asses right off somewhere. You understand? Yes, we may feel like that at times, but we don't actually carry it through, right? Not when we're looking at the best interest for our child. You don't do that, but you supposedly be looking at the best interest for the child. What's going on? What's wrong with that picture, family? Can somebody tell me what's wrong with that picture in the chat? Somebody, right, family? What's wrong with that picture? These things is going on. Sleeping on the floor in the agency. Makes no sense. Maybe if they return some of the kids that shouldn't be in the homes back to their biological families, maybe they have rooms to actually put children who actually need a place. Right? That's one thing. Because there's a lot of children in the system that shouldn't be in the system. There's a lot of children, family, in the system that should be reunited with their family. They don't need to be in the system. They need to be home with their family, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, cousin, siblings, mother, dad. They don't need to be in the system. Okay? Case Wynn said they just in it for the money. Yes, you have a lot that's in it for the money. Belongings in a trash bag and shifting them around from place to place. Yes. And in fact, I'm going to tell you this. The one child that came to me, I think she was 9. Yeah, I think she was 9 because I think she was in like the 3rd grade. I think that would place her around 9. I think she was 9, right? This was the one that stayed with me about 9 months. She stayed about 9 months with us, all right? Very sweet little girl. She loved to eat, right? We loved her, all right? We all loved her, all right? My sisters loved her and everything. She loved to get her hair done. Oh, she was something else, honey, right? She loved to get her hair done. We done took her, we got her hair done the way she liked and, everything. And I was like, okay, well, I got to get this girl to the dentist because for 9 years old, her teeth was just like, like nobody cared for her. Come to find out, right? She was in a foster home before she came to mine. So she didn't come straight from home, okay? She was in another foster home. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm contacting the social worker and I'm like, all right, well, she need to go to the dentist. Like, when the last time? See, they don't want you to bring these things up. They don't want you to worry about this. Some of these social workers, it's a problem. They don't want to. No, she needs to go to the dentist. And there's no way everybody in this house is going to be going to the dentist and she ain't going to be going to the dentist. All right? We need to get a dentist here for her. We need to see what's going on in her mouth. Right? It was some things that was going on that I didn't like. And I felt like the foster parent before me, right, should have took care of that. But then when the girl started opening up to me, right, and my family, she started discussing some things. 9 years old, they know a lot. They're very smart, right? She started telling me some things, right? They had her sleeping on the damn floor. You getting all this money for this child, and yes, the money is towards you, and you may be getting a little stipend for the child needs. But you had the child sleeping on the floor. When the girl came to me, all her clothes was like high waters. So what was this? What was you buying for the child? When the last time you bought this child any clothes? It was a lot of things that concerned me. And I brought it up to the caseworker. The caseworkers, what the caseworker, one of the caseworkers told me? Don't dive too deep into these things, right? These things happen all the time. So you ain't concerned? You ain't concerned that these things going on? So that you should be taking a look at this foster parent so when the next children come in her home, you're not concerned? Family, I tell you, family, child, family. I'm going to just pray for these children, all right? I'm going to pray for these children. I'm going to pray for these families, all right? That's all I could do. I could put my energy into prayer, right? Ask the ancestors to shift some things around because things that's going on in these homes shouldn't be going on, right? We got all kinds of things. We got physical abuse going on. We got emotional abuse. We got sexual abuse going on. We got all of this going on in these homes, whether it's in the biological parents' home, the foster parents' home. These things are going on, and our children are suffering because of it. Nobody else is suffering but the children. They need to go and they need to take a deeper look at these agencies who got these children in these homes for a long length of time. These agencies that's not out doing their job, that's not reuniting these children back with their family. The ones who's not going to make home visits when these children do get reunited and see what is going on. They need to take a look at these foster parents of who all is living in the house and what all is their routine. Is they physically hitting them or anything like that? They need to do pop-up visits because everybody's not getting pop-up visits at these foster homes. They need to get ahead and see what's going on with these biological parents to say, if you're not going to do right and do right by your children, if you don't want your children, just sign them over, right? Because let's be honest, don't waste nobody's time. If you're not going to do right by your children, just sign them over. So if all you're going to do is harm them physically, emotionally, or whatever that you are doing, or you really don't give a damn about the child, or you want to continue to run the street, if you really don't want to be a parent, just sign them over. Just sign them over and let somebody else love them who's going to give them a loving home, right? We need to see why these foster parents are fostering these children for so long and not adopting them if they actually love and in love with these children and want to be they more than a parent to them, more than just a foster parent. We need to find out why you're not doing those steps to adopt them, because nobody else is taking interest in them. No family or friends or their parents is not taking interest in the child. So why you not adopting them? You done had a child foster in your home for 5 years and you haven't made no intentions on adopting them? But yet their family is not in the picture. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with not giving children permanent homes? A permanent family? What's wrong with that? Something's wrong with that picture, family. I have a big issue with that. This is why I had to leave certain situations. It was best for me. And my husband said that too. Baby, things are taking a toll on you. You take a lot of things to heart, baby. It's time for you to leave it alone. Because my husband, he was stepping real quick, all right? When he see unsettling things or things going on with me, he was stepping real quick. Okay, some situations it's time for me to just pull back, just leave alone, move along, right? Only the Most High knows what's kind of testing they do on these babies and children at fosters. Yes. Now most Black community have PTSD, and even in military war at home. Yes, you're right with this. Yes, you are so right, K-Swin. It was a domino effect, and now they're trying different agenda. Yes, Ashanti said facts. Yes, you are so right. Okay, so there's a lot of things that's going on. All right, they moving children at the home to do experiments on them too. Don't think that's not going on. They removing children out the home and doing government experiments on these children. Okay? I can remember me being in foster care at a young age. They was doing experiments on us. A bunch of us that was in there. They was doing all kind of experiments on us. We was the damn guinea pigs because we was in foster care. Who really cared? Who really knew? Right? So They do that, family. If you think it's not happening, it's happening. It's happening, family. These things are happening. It's going on right under our nose. It's going on. It's happening, family. Okay? I know sometimes it's hard to believe that these things are happening, but it's happening. All right? I don't witness things from both sides of the fence, being on both sides of the fence. Right? I don't witness things from my own eyes. Sometimes I don't speak about some things. Some things is personal to me that I'd rather not speak about. All right? But I've been through it, family. Okay? I've been through a lot of things, and like I said, I had to grow up very fast. Okay? Very fast. I don't hold my mother, yes, my mother had her issues, right? My mother had her issues. She had to get help. A lot of the things, that happened to me, I don't hold my mother accountable for, because the people who was supposed to be entrusted to care for me, I hold them accountable for it, not my mother, right? Yes, if my mother wouldn't have been on drugs, we wouldn't have been placed in that predicament. But at the same time, my mother had a problem, okay? And I'm very understanding of that. My mother had a problem that she needed help for. But what was wrong with the people who didn't have a problem? What was wrong with the foster parent who wasn't impaired, who didn't have a problem? What was her reasoning for doing what she was doing to me? You understand? What was wrong with the social workers who was slacking on a job? I hold those people accountable for what has happened to me while I was awarded to the state. I hold them accountable. I don't hold my mother accountable, because if a parent give up their children or let their children go to the system because they have a issue, any kind of addiction or anything like that, then you are responsible for that child. If you don't want to be responsible, then you need to turn those children back over to their parents. So I'm looking at it on both angles. I don't hold my mother responsible for a lot of things. Now, the things that took place after I got returned to my mother, things that has taken place, yes, I hold her responsible now, because now there's no, you done got yourself together, right? There's no excuses now. So anything that happened after that point that I was returned back home, then I hold my mom accountable for, right? After she supposedly had got herself together. But anything that happened prior to her being under the influence of drugs or anything like that, I don't hold my mother accountable for that. Because I know that people make mistakes in life, all right? And I know that when you are impaired, it can cause you to do things that you shouldn't do or things that you wouldn't normally do. I know that those things can happen, all right? That's why we have to be mindful of the things that we take inside of our bodies, right? Because we want to be able to function and think with a sound mind. And we can't do that if we are under the influence of drugs and alcohol. We just can't do it. The grandmother who had custody allowed my 17-year-old self to keep this baby for weeks at a time. That's my baby, and I love her dearly. But how did she even let me keep her like that? Yeah. The foster mother is the one with the problem. Yes. There's a lot of things that's going on that shouldn't be going on in this world. A lot of these kids are also sacrificed. It's a lot going on in the background, family. Yes, and you are so right. Yes, you are so right. A lot of them, family. I was even looking into some of these judges. Somebody had me look into 2 of these judges, right? They asked me to do some work for them. I'm not going to get too deep into it. These, some of these people, they are part of these occults. You'd be surprised what they are doing in their life. So you got people that's, they take our children and they doing all kind of things. The next thing you know, the child going missing. There's a lot of children who are missing, who are in foster care. Where are these children? Where are these children? Right? There's a lot of children. That's what I noticed. A lot of children that's in foster care, they are missing. Because it's easy. They are easier prey. They are easier target because they feel like nobody cares about them anyway. They in the system. They just get lost in the system. They are an easy target. You better know that some things is going on the spiritual level, right? Tap into that energy, family, and meditate over a few things. You'll get clarity in a whole lot of things and what people are doing, right? People are not living their lives right. You got some people, they into some satanic things. They really are doing all kind of things. So many children have passed away in foster care. So many children are labeled as runaways from foster care. Nobody cares. Yes, and that's another thing. They'll tell you that your child ran away, and will know and damn well your child ain't ran away, right? They've been killed the child, did whatever kind of sacrifice they did to your child, and they'll sit there and tell you the child ran away. Right? Nobody gonna care two things about it because the child was awarded to the state. So who's really gonna look for concern if the biological parent is out there on drugs or has relinquished their parental rights? Who really is speaking for the child? Because nobody's visiting the child, so they just gonna mark them down as a runaway and that's it. Nobody's gonna investigate that. Who's investigating that? Who's really investigating that, family? These things are going on. All right. And if nobody cares, nobody's going to investigate it. Maybe people need to start hiring more private investigators, right? To investigate some things. I'm sorry to have to say that, but people need to start hiring some private investigators so they can see what really is going on in these agencies with these government officials and these foster homes. You understand? These are people that are supposed to be entrusted with our children, and they failing them. Removing children that shouldn't be, but the ones that need to be removed, they still in a damn home to be abused every damn day. What's wrong with that picture? Something's wrong with that picture, family. Something's wrong with that picture. I'm just reading the comments, family. Marcy said, hateful, mean people, just sad. Yes. It's really sad what's going on in this world, family. Okay? Lola said, I used to say I didn't see color until I got this case. Shaking my head. You know, it's a lot of things that's going on in this world, family. All right, just really open your eyes on a spiritual level and see things beneath the veil. Really see things for what is going on, right? Don't just look at things physically on this physical plane. Look beneath the veil, all right, family? Because there's way more that's going on what they don't want you to know, right? They don't want us to know. A lot of sinister things are going on, right? People are getting kickbacks to do all kinds of things, right? To put your child in juvenile homes and all kind of stuff in these detention centers, and they get money for it, and all kind of things going on. Keep your child in the foster home. Keep it going, right? Keep postponing court dates. You understand, family? Miss T, we just found out my sister on my dad's side has been in DCFS all her life, and it's kind of hard to love her because she just met us, and I'm trying to be the best I can be with her, and that's okay. You just be there for her, Tiffany, and just show her a lot of love, all right? Because sometimes people, they've experienced things in their life, and sometimes we got to show them that everybody that they encounter that has harmed them, you know, everybody is not like that. So the only thing you could do is love all over your cousin, right? Love all over your cousin, your sister, okay? Love all over your sister. That's all you could do, right? Because sometimes we don't even know situations is going on with family, or we just found out that we have family and they situation, so we didn't know what, you know, what's going on. And all you could do is show them that, you know, whatever they experienced or whatever they had to endure, that, well, I'm not that type of person. I'm not like that, you know, and I'm sorry that that has happened to you, right? Because those things shouldn't have never had to happen. So just show her a lot of love, Tiffany. I'm just shocked at the system. This is not right. We fighting in the spiritual realm now. People got to wake up. Yes, Bridget. taking people children and putting all kind of things in their body that the parents will be against, but they're going to take your child out the home and do all kind of things, right? Got our child ingesting all kind of things and giving them all kind of things, right? Take your children so they can do whatever they want, do experiments and all kind of things. It's a lot of things that's going on, family. Please wake up, get out that deep sleep, family, and don't think everybody is so kind and they care. No, you have a few that care. There's a few that care, very few. But you got some, they don't care. They go along with the flow. They are part of the plan. Okay? They're part of the plan. Yes, I do love her. Okay, Miss T, thank you. You are very welcome, Tiffany. Case Win said, Miss T, I'm rolling over. Got to catch up on rest. Been on the road. Love you and family. Yes, Case Win, I love you as well. And I have to, what time is it? It's a little after 6. I have to start getting ready myself to get out of here because I want to get out of here at 6:45 today. Teresa said, I'm sure they vaccinate and force the kids. Yes. And the sad thing is they may come and remove your child out of your home, and you may have different beliefs, right? You may be of a different religion, different culture, whatever that may be going on, and you may not vaccinate your children. But now they get a hold of your children. Now your child is being subject to all of these things that you have never subjected your child to. So you understand? So these things go on too, family. All right? When it shouldn't. What happened about parenting these children up in a home that's like theirs, right? So if you got somebody who is, on this religious or spiritual or cultural thing, what happened to parent the children up with these individuals, right? Somebody who is just in the same category as their biological family. No, they don't do that because they don't care. They don't care, but they have the best interest for your child. They have the best interest for your child, right? That don't seem like you got the best interest for my child. Right? That's not what that sound like. Not to me, family. Yes, Tiffany. I'm surprised. Yes, it is. Yes, we are going to celebrate when I get home today. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. Thank you, K-Swin. I'm just seeing it now. I'm just seeing your comments now. Just look back. Thank you, family. Yes, it's my JoJo birthday today. Yes, it is. Yes, my baby is 6 today. Yes. Thank you, family, for that birthday love for my JoJo. He's knocked out. But yes, it's his birthday today, right? She's had multiple children. She had multiple children removed from their biological families who were loving their children. All right, I'm reading what you're saying, Ashanti, about multiple children being removed. Thank you, family, for that love. Love more, hate less. Thank you for that birthday love, family. Marcy, K-Swin, Teresa. Thank you all, family. Ashanti, thank you. Yes, Ashanti, we need a reading on the doctor, and she needs to be officially investigated. Thank you, Marcy. Yes. K-Swin, when is your son's birthday? Happy birthday to him, K-Swin. Thank you, KS, for the birthday love. Thank you, Shauna, for the birthday love for my JoJo. Yes, today is my JoJo birthday. All right, so today, K-Swin, your son shares the same birthday as my JoJo. Happy birthday to him. K-Swin got a grown man, adult son. Teresa said, happy birthday to your big baby, Keisha. Yes. That sounds like a fake name or allies she was given. Alias. Who is that, Ashanti? I'm not sure because I don't really know this. If y'all talking about the girl from the American Idol, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know the case. I really don't know, right? That's the first time I heard of her when family sent me that information, and that it was a clip. That's the first time. I just meditated yesterday over this case. I meditated, and that's why I said I was going to bring it here today, because there's a lot of things that's going on, all right, with them removing children out of the home and not putting them in suitable livings, and a lot of children that they removing from families that they shouldn't be. And there's a lot of children that need to be removed that hasn't been removed, okay? So there's a lot of things that's going on here. But the main thing is, why after things has been unfounded, why these children haven't been returned back? What are you waiting for? Right? Return the children back. Because if it's unfound, just like when you come to the home and things are unfounded, right? You don't remove the child, you leave them there. Okay, the same way if when you get the children into your care and your custody and things are unfounded, or you get them to the doctor, to the hospital, and things are unfounded, those children need to be returned back immediately. Handed right back over to their parents because it's unfounded. Okay? See, once they start removing children from the home, and even after things are unfounded, but they still got custody of your children, that's a problem, family. You all don't see that? That's a problem? That's a problem. Because what you're saying now at this point, we really don't care about that. That's your child, and your child belongs with you, although you have done nothing wrong to this child. We're going to keep them anyway. That's too much power for somebody to have over our children when we haven't done anything wrong to them. Right? We haven't done anything to harm them. So something has to be done, family. Things need to be done. Laws need to be changed. Things have to be done. That's too much power. Who got all of this power? Who is making these calls to say that, all right, your child is fine, your child is safe, everything checked out well at the hospital, but we still going to keep your child? For what? For what purpose? Under what rules or anything like that do you still need to keep my child? For what? What are you doing? For what? What do you plan on doing? What are your plans with my child now at this point? Because I will be like that as a parent. What are your plans now? All right, you is it an agenda? All right, you doing that because it's some other things going on that you want to do, right? Some of these people are on a power trip. They should never have that much power. We birthed these children. They father these children. These men father these children. Something needs to change. Because not everybody has to be grouped in. Not everybody is supposed to be grouped into that category of children that has been taken away, but nothing is going on. But with the children who has been taken away, but a lot of things is going on in that situation, right? They grouping everybody into one category. They're not really looking at the circumstances, and sometimes they are looking at the circumstances, but they just don't care. All right, they just want to remove the child. They don't care. They don't show. They don't care. You understand, family? They don't care. Who's actually caring? Who's actually caring about these children? You understand, family? Who's actually caring? Put some preventative measures in place first. But I also understand the other side when parents don't follow the rules program in place to get their children back. Yes, Ashanti, right? Because we have that going on too. And that's why every case has to be, examined on an individual basis, right? That's why we can't group everybody up, group everybody who has gotten taken away in one category. We can't group all the foster parents in one category. We can't group all the agencies in one category because there are a handful that actually care, right? And we got a handful of parents that's actually doing their job, doing everything that needs to be done to get their children back, and their children are still in homes, right? Of these of strangers. We have some parents who just don't give a damn. They could care less what happened to their children. And some of these parents still have their parental rights. They just, You know, they're not trying to follow up. They're not trying to go to the agency and do no visits. They're not trying to do nothing. They really don't care, right? Yeah, some changes need to be made, family, most definitely. They are the same people in the cycle. They go along with what the doctor says without really looking. They just rubber stamp things. Yes, yes, Teresa. And then you have some doctors that would turn you over. Cause trust me, I've it was a time that I used to tap into that energy hard with certain doctors, especially when I take my kids to the doctor. I love my doctor, my children's doctor. All right, trust me, I did research on my children's doctor. Okay, and I'm talking about some spiritual research as well. You got some doctors that because you don't, have the same beliefs that they have when it comes to raising your children and things that you should do. You got these doctors that'll turn you over, although your child is still thriving and still healthy and nothing's wrong with your child, but because they don't like what you're doing as a parent, they'll turn you over, and everything is good with your child. So you have a lot of that goes on too, right? Because I don't have the same beliefs as you is the problem. Everybody is entitled to their own belief system. Okay? Everybody's entitled to that. Good morning, Shapira. Shapira said the doctor involved has a bad history. Wow. Teresa said some parents do comply and they still never get their children back. Once they have them positioned to be adopted and these agencies get payment from the state for it, they let it go through. I was watching the doc on Netflix called Crack, and a lady stated a woman was strung out. Instead of getting her help, the nurse called DCFS on her. Yes, right? They'll do that too. They do that too. Or they'll treat you a certain way because you was on drugs, strung out on drugs, right? The one lady who I explained that she had several of her children taken away, except for the last one that she had, she was able to raise that child. She said too, the few that she could remember that she did have, they never even let her see her babies, right? Took the baby out. All right, baby, that's baby, and that's it. Took the baby away, and then the nurse basically came in and said, and the doctor basically came in, and social services, the lady from social services basically came in with some documents for her to sign and said the baby was born with drugs in the system, so we're going to need you to sign these papers. Basically telling her that you don't have the right to see your child. You're not going to see your child. Your child was born with drugs in their system, so we taking the child, we removing the child, we placing the child in foster care. So that means, because this person has an addiction that they can't help, that they shouldn't be able to bond or bond with their child while they're in the hospital, see their child while they're in the hospital, love their child while they're in the hospital. You don't think that parent who, you see, everybody is looking at people out of appearance, and that's how they judging them. People are going to pay a hefty price for that, right? You trying to treat people any kind of way because they may have a drug addiction or some kind of addiction that's going on in their life, right? So you figure you could treat these people any kind of way. This is what's going on. You understand, family? These things go on. They treat certain people any kind of way. No regards. They don't care. They could care less. Some people actually do love their children, but they have a problem. They have problems, whether it's a mental issue, whether it's chemical issues. They have problems that they need help for. And once they receive the proper help and get on the right track, they could be able to be that loving parent that they need to be. But some people just need help. And sometimes these people, unfortunately, they never get the help because they don't fall into the right hands of the people who's going to guide them to that help. So that's the sad thing. When you have people that, Yeah, they take the parent out the home. They take the children out the home, but who's helping the parent now? Who's helping the parent get on their feet and regain custody back of their children? Who's really helping? Who's really advocating for the parents who need help? Right? So there's a lot of things that's going on. A lot of things need to be changed. A lot of agencies need to be looked into. A lot of people who work for these agencies need to be looked into. A lot of doctors need to be looked into. It's a lot of things going on in here. I just don't understand the government put it out here, the U.S., and take our babies. Yes. When the projects was first built, dads couldn't live with the family. Teresa said she let me know whatever they say, just go along with it. They were giving my baby Hula, who was not on dairy, Pediasure. My doctor said take it, and when no one is around, take it in the bathroom and pour it out. My baby had her own growth curve. They probably would have tried to take my baby away from me if I complained about that, Pediasure, or because they felt like she was underweight. Yes, Teresa, and that's too. Because if something don't resonate with you, not like my JoJo is on Pediasure, right? But just to say, if that didn't resonate with me, I'm not going to give it to him, right? I'm not going to, if something don't resonate with me to give my child, I'm not going to give it to them. And then that's a problem for the doctor, right? That's a problem for the doctor. I know when I had JoJo, he was underweight, right? Because he was preemie, and he was like 3 pounds. I was breastfeeding him as well. They wanted to hurry up and put weight on him rapidly. And although I just wanted to purely breastfeed him, they wanted him to have formula because the formula is going to put the weight on them rapidly, right? So they wanted to try some new thing that came out. You see, want to experiment on our children. These are things they want to do, right? Because they don't have time to wait. Although the breast milk is a better nutritional value for him, right? They don't have time to wait while weight get on him slowly. They want something that's going to is not as it's not going to be as nutritional, right? But it's going to meet all the needs that they need, and it's going to put the weight on fast. So just get them that. They want you to go along with that and be fine with that. When some parents actually have an issue with that, and I can understand that, right? Some people, they just don't want to do that. So there's a lot of things that's going on. People need to be respectful of everybody's wishes and their beliefs. But at the same time, yes, we want to make sure the children are safe. Okay? But people need to be mindful and respectful of people's path in life, their religious, their spiritual belief, their culture, anything like that. They need to be respectful of these things. Because what one culture, what you may do, we may not necessarily do in our house. It could be a culture difference. And you have to understand that. So don't think because what everybody do in your house, they are doing that next door. Because culturally, they may be doing something different. And I can't say, who the hell am I to say, no, you can't be sitting, you can't lay that baby on the floor like that and walk around that child. Maybe that's a cultural thing that they do, right? The baby not being harmed or injured by them doing that. But you have to be respectful of that. If that's what they do, you have to be respectful, right? When you look at the Jewish people, right? They have a lot of things that they do that's culturally different. And though we may disagree with things, they have been doing these for years. We got a lot of African tribes, right? When we look at these people, they have a lot of things that they do that is culturally different, but they have been doing that for years. It works for them, okay? They've been practicing. That's a practice. They do that. It works for them. Who the hell am I to say because I don't do that with my family that's the wrong way of doing things? Just because I don't practice it or do it, that doesn't mean that it's the wrong way of doing things. It's just that me and my family do things a different way. And that's what people need to understand. People really need to understand that. Right? because you're not doing their standards of things is a problem when that shouldn't be. It's definitely not family unification anymore. It's all about that money and breaking the wrong families up, the kids in the wrong hands, and don't even get removed and end up dead. Yes. A lot of that is going on. Yes. Child end up dead. Child end up dead while in the foster home. Foster parent killed the child. Foster parent killed the child and threw them in the trash can. What's wrong with that picture, family? What's wrong with that picture? Right? What is wrong with that picture? She was certified. She was a certified foster parent. So when they start telling you, oh, they're certified foster parent, they know what they're doing. That certified foster parent is no different from somebody who's not certified. Okay? So it means nothing to me that you are certified and you are caring for my child. That means nothing to me. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. If I can't connect with you on a spiritual level or anything like that, I don't give a damn if you certified or not. I'm gonna be honest. Because if I send my JoJo to a babysitter, I don't care if the babysitter is licensed or unlicensed. Right? If I can't make that spiritual connection, my JoJo is not going. Because you got some babysitters that's unlicensed, they'll give better care to your child than these licensed ones. The license is just saying that you're knowledgeable in some areas because you've been educated, but are you going to put that education into use? What you actually learned, are you going to put that education into use? Most people don't. That lady who was certified didn't put that into use when she threw that baby in a dumpster. She killed the baby and threw the baby in the dumpster, but she was a certified foster parent. So what is that telling me? That ain't telling me a damn thing. So please, family, get out of this deep sleep. All right? Get out of this deep sleep. And know that these things are happening on all levels. It doesn't matter your race, your social status, or anything else, your education level. All right? It doesn't matter. These things don't matter. People are doing these things. Wicked things, good things. On all levels. I'm going to get out of here, family, because I wanted to be out of here at 6:45 today, and it ain't gonna happen. Good thing is that I had already took my shower and did some meditation before I got up here. I didn't realize I was gonna be up here for this long, family. I thought I would come up here and say like 15-20 minutes, but it never happens. All right, family, I'm gonna let you all go. I will come back and try to read the comment section, family, because I know I missed a lot of comments talking to you all, family. All right, so I will try to come back and revisit on my break time and read the comments in the comment section. Okay, I want to say I love you all, family. I want you all to have a blessed day. I probably won't really be too much up here because today is my JoJo birthday, as you all know, and we're gonna be doing some things after work today. So I just want to say I love you all, family. I want you all to have a blessed day and really think about some things, really go into meditation and see what's going on in this case and with other cases as well. Okay, other cases as well. We need to start petitioning these courts to do a better job in looking into these agencies and returning these children back to their families. Right? We need to be doing this. This got to stop. They can't just have the power to go and snatch somebody's child out of their home when they haven't done anything wrong to the child and then don't hand the child back over. Right? It has to stop, family. That has to stop. All right, family. I love you all. I want you all to have a blessed day.